All right, everybody. First, thank you for joining us tonight. As always, I hope you and your family are doing well during this time. Everyone's safe and healthy. It's an exciting night. Got some big news to announce, so I'm very excited to do that here over the next couple minutes. But before I get into that and kind of get into some of the announcements, I wanted to first say thank you to everybody. I took over Classics Eagles at the beginning of last spring, and I couldn't have been more excited to be able to take over such an amazing program. It's a program that's dear to my heart, and the way it's set up, and believing in keeping kids in the community, and playing with friends and getting a great quality soccer experience. It's very similar to how I grew up playing. So to be able to take over and lead that program has been a fantastic honor, and I was so excited to take over last spring, and this past fall was amazing. And unfortunately, this spring didn't go as planned, and we weren't able to get back on the field again. But it was it's been such an amazing year still, despite that. And I wanted to first say thank you to all the coaches and the parents and the players who make Classics Eagles great. Our coaching staff is tremendous. All the coaches are so dedicated, really committed to helping the players. They have got kids on the team, families are close, and to watch them interact and teach and encourage and motivate the kids throughout the year is absolutely unbelievable to watch. So it's just so thankful to again be part of this program. And again, it would not be possible without the coaches that lead our teams, and the parents and the families, and the players. Again, during a time like this, it really is a little bit of a gut check in how strong the community and the program is. And I've been blown away by the support and the grit and the commitment, and just the love that's been shown within the Class Eagles community and all the soccer community, but particularly within CE. All the support of the players, coaches, and players during this time, for each other and the program has been absolutely unbelievable. So again, I just wanted to say it's a privilege to be the director of this program, and be able to work with so many amazing coaches each year, amazing families, and get to watch the kids play the game they love. So I feel very blessed and fortunate to be in this role, and I can't wait to we get back up on the field again. So we got some pretty good news today, I think, from the governor. It looks like and seems like that we are moving, in the right direction with, and getting back to the field here in the near future. So that's exciting. On a personal note, salon's open tomorrow, so I'm in desperate need of a haircut. So that was some exciting news as of recently for me on a personal basis, because this is just not a good look for myself. So that's at least something personally very exciting that's going to happen tomorrow. So kind of getting into the news for tonight, and what we wanted to talk about. First and foremost, the first piece of news, and there's two really things we want to announce tonight. First, and something for me that I think is very exciting and kind of hits at the heart of, what Classics Eagles is about. We, cover a very large community within Olentangy, Powell, Lewis Center. I mean, it's a very large area and community, and we have families, and our teams are all kind of grouped, by community, by school, and that's kind of what we're all about, is that, you're able to kind of play with friends, family from the neighborhood, kids you've grown up with, everyone that kind of lives in the same area. And it's a real community, true community kind of team. And with that, it allows you to practice near where you live and play where you live. And that's very important for us. So as we're growing, we have practice locations on each of the different kind of sides of Olentangy to help make sure that each team, if they don't have their own place, somewhere they can train that's close to home. We don't want teams have to travel, a long distance. And even if that's like 20, 25 minutes, which isn't long, but we'd rather be right in your backyard. That's kind of what we see as kind of community, where you can play right in your general area. So maybe it's a 5-10 minute trip to the field. So, that's, how we one of the bases of our program that, you're able to play within your community. And, we often get other teams and players from surrounding communities in the area. And, one of the things I constantly get is, they want to know where we practice and play. And, we've had a couple teams that are, technically based out of other areas, and, they will, not quite right in the heart of Olentangy, so their trip to like home games and some practice is a little bit farther than they want. So, one of those cities, which is right our neighbor, is Westerville. We've had, a lot of players in the Westerville community who are playing in Olentangy-based teams, and, they're having to travel a little more than they want. And I always get inquiries, from teams in the Westerville area, about, Classics Eagles. And, some of the hard part for those players and those families is that, the trip all the way over to Olentangy for practice or games is not really what they're looking for. They want to be able to have the Classic Eagles program a little bit closer to home. So my first big announcement, what I'm really excited about, is that Classics Eagles will have a dedicated practice space and game field in Westerville. So, for some of our, our teams are kind of in the middle, and those families and teams that are in Westerville that are interested in Classics Eagles but wasn't real thrilled about maybe making that trip over. Now there'll be a dedicated practice area in that community, and also a game field. So, even if you're kind of in that area, you wouldn't have to travel all the way over to Olentangy for your home games, which doesn't sometimes feel like a home game. So for me, this is very exciting. Classic Eagles, in the past several years back, had, some, areas there as well. But now, we've secured that again. And for me, that's going to be very exciting for the families that are currently in Classic Eagles, and some families who are always interested within the program, but we're wanting to stay close to home, which I understood, which I get, and that's really what we're about. We want you to be able to play in your community, play and train in your community with people who are close by without having to travel very far for games and practice. So for me, that's one of the most exciting things that are coming up for next year, is that we will have a game field and a practice location in that Westerville community. So for those Westerville-based teams who have always been interested in Classics Eagles, this might be a much better option now, because you will be able to stay within your community to train and play games, which, for me is very exciting, because over the years of being with Classic Eagles, before being the director of the Classic Eagles program now, that was always something that was always talked about, is that, it's very important to be able to stay in your community. So, before this started the season, I got a lot of inquiries from Westerville-based teams that were, looking to possibly, join Classic Eagles, but, wanted to stay in their community. So now that is a possibility. So that's very exciting. If anyone, is more interested in more information about that, then definitely reach out to me. My contact information is all over the website. My cell phone number and email address is on the ClassicEagles.com website. Please reach out to me if you have questions, or you're interested in Classic Eagles with that option on the table to be able to train and play in your own community, in the Westwood community. Definitely reach out. The second piece of big news for me is something that's come out of this situation that we're currently in. Without the ability to get on the field and practice and play, all the teams and players have really had to kind of move to an online base of training and practice. And it's not maybe what we wanted, but at the same time, I think a lot of great things came out of it. And one of those things is that we've gotten a little more accustomed to training virtually and practicing virtually. So what I want to do, kind of as director of Classic Eagles, and things I've seen by leading all the online trainings, throughout this spring for the players in the community, is that we're going to continue kind of that online virtual platform into the summer, and we're also going to continue it through the season. So even when we're back on the field, we're going to continue to offer an online type of training for players to be able to participate in, throughout the summer and throughout the season. And you might ask yourself why. Why, if we can get back out and play, why would we be doing things online still? And here's why. And this has been my observation with running these sessions for the CE families and the kids and the parents and the coaches, is that first, I think this has become an incredible tool for players to really get to see how to practice on their own. It's something we've always wished for as coaches and parents, is I wish my child understood how to practice and train at home. Now they're getting a much better idea and a constant education of the things that they're capable of doing on their own that's going to help them play. So for me, I see this as a great tool for players, even when they can get back outside and play, because through this online platform, you as coaches, we can kind of keep educating the players on things they can do on their own to improve. So it's a great tool, and I wouldn't want to kind of give that back. Once we get back on the field, I think is something that can continue, and I think will be very beneficial to players even when they're back on the field with their teams and practicing. So that's the first thing. Second, it's been a great coaches tool as well. We're able to, as coaches, share training ideas and give ideas of kind of what we can do with players and hear coaching points and talk about the things that are important from a technical standpoint for players to develop and be able to see where players need more assistance or less assistance in. So it's been a great collaborative tool for coaches as well to be able to see kind of how players are doing and for coaches to share ideas. That's the second. For me, one of the biggest things, and I think this has been exciting, is that when I've been doing these online sessions with the players, it hasn't just been the players. It's been the families. You get parents doing these activities with their kids. You get siblings doing these activities with the players. And it's become kind of a family event. And I can talk for a very long time at all the benefits about that, but how amazing is that? Is that these families now, everybody's engaged and hearing kind of what the coaches are asking the players to do and hearing those coaching points, and the parents are learning what's important for the players to be able to do, and they're able to talk and show each other and challenge each other. So I think it's created a very cool and unique environment for families to engage in the game together. So these sessions I'm doing, and I'm watching parents pass back and forth with their kids, and when have they done that while the kid was being coached and helped? And so I just think it's a very unique setup that we definitely want to continue. And there's so much value there for parents to hear what coaches are asking their child to do, for the player and the parent to engage and talk to each other about what they're learning and what they're having trouble with, or what they are really doing well with, and all those type of things. So I think it's really engaged the entire family in some of these aspects of getting better as a player. So I think that's been really kind of cool and neat. And then the last part of it too, for me, the last biggest reason why I think this is important to continue is that throughout the season we offer training sessions, additional skill sessions for players. So outside their team training, we offer on-field supplemental training for players, from skill sessions and goalkeeper sessions to attend. We offer 2 options a week for players to attend outside of their team sessions. That's just included in their fees. But I'm learning as I'm talking with parents through this process is how busy, parents are, in terms of not just their one child who's involved in Class Eagles, but their other kids and their work, and not being able to always, get and pick their kid another night to the soccer field to train. For this to be able to done at home, it's one less trip to the field. Saves the parents time. It's one less carpool need, or having to conflict, getting one child to one event and then picking that child up again to another. By having an option where the kids can engage in this type of activity while staying at home, I think it really helps busy parents who have to work late, have multiple kids in multiple sports all over the place. Sometimes this is a better option than having to get in the car and take them to a location for another night. So with all that in mind, and things that I've seen over the last couple months, I have seen this as a brilliant opportunity to reach kids and families and coaches even at a higher level. So for us, the CE, this is something we'll continue through the summer, and as the season continues, we'll continue these online platforms, online training, because of all the benefits of it, while still having the on-field events. But I think when we do get back on the field and start competing, and that starts looking normal, and I know it's what everyone wants to do, I don't think we turn away from these opportunities to train virtually, because I think there's been a lot of benefit to it. So I think you take all those benefits while actually being able to play the game, and it's going to be a great tool. So for us, those are our 2 big announcements tonight. So I appreciate people stopping by and listening to us as we talk about that. Again, the first bit of news was very exciting, that we're going to have a practice and game location in Westerville starting in the fall. So for Westerville-based teams and families that within the CE way, what we're kind of dedicated to for those community-based and true community pockets within community-based teams can practice and play right in their backyard. That offers a great opportunity for people who live in that community. So that's very exciting for us. And then in addition, as I just got done talking about, we're going to continue the online platforms for kids as we're moving through the summer, and then and continue that through the season. And kind of going forward, and hopefully it keeps evolving, keep building on it, coming up with new ideas. But this is, again, this has been a great introduction how we can use technology to really, reach players on a whole lot of other levels and parents on a level. So we're not gonna stop doing that. So we're excited to get back on the field, get back to with our teams and practices and competing, and hopefully it looks like we're on pace for the fall to do that. But those are some of the exciting things FC we're doing kind of going forward. So if you always if you have any questions about your child or your team or anything like that about Classics Eagles, you need me more information to see if it might be a good fit for your group or your child, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, my cell phone number and email address is all over the Classics Eagles website. Please give me a call. I'll be happy to talk with you and discuss Classics Eagles and your team or your child, and see if it's the right fit for kind of what you're looking for. And if it's not, I'd be happy to help kind of point you in the right direction to other opportunities that might be more in line with what you're looking for. So again, always really appreciate you taking a little bit of your time in the evening to stop by and hang out with us. We'll be back on Monday for another Facebook Live event, which we'll post the topic for that tomorrow night, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be pretty exciting. So, but again, very excited about the fall. Looking forward to get back on the field. Again, hope everyone's doing well. And again, please take care, and always don't hesitate to reach out if you ever need anything. All the best.